Hello and welcome to another episode. I am Brian, the Unskilled Commander. I am really glad to be making some more episodes. I hope you all are appreciating the upgrade. Um, Hopefully we don't have any sound issues. I know we had it in the very first episode, then we had two that were fine, so I'm hoping we're past that, but we'll see. Let's see, talk over the decks here. We've got one brand new deck, which is my rat deck. Then we have a new hybridized deck. This is now just five color legendary. I basically took my Planeswalker, my five color legendary, my five colors matter decks, tore them all apart and kind of rebuilt them into one. Just because really they just didn't win. And they didn't do that great separately, even though they, had good cards in them. They just weren't working well together. So I tweaked it. Hopefully this new iteration uh, works and does something. We've also got Samurai and Spirits, which I don't believe really have any kind of major adjustments, maybe one or two cards, but I don't play them often, and they haven't really wowed me. So this is kind of essentially a test, really, is to see how these decks go and whether or not some of them are going to last, as it were. Because that's what you got to do as a commander player. When you really get into it and you start making lots of decks, you make too many decks, and then you do need to take a hard line and start tearing apart a bunch because you're always going to find some new commander that you want to try. You're always going to find some new trick you want to play. So, you can't, I mean, you certainly can have 100 commander decks if you want, and if you have the opportunity to play constantly, then and they all get some good mileage, then that's great. But like me in my situation, I really only get to play once or twice a month with some friends, and we only get like maybe 4 or 5 games in. So there's plenty of decks that just don't see the light of day, and then why have them, right? So this is a help test off about whether or not some of these are going to get going. So let's get started. Five colors actually rolled won the dice, so that's going to go first. So we are going to draw for turn. Play Rodrin Triome, comes in tapped, and pass. Draw for turn. I will play a mountain into a Soul Ring, and the Soul Ring will not go into anything specific, but this is going to be a really good first hand for this deck because it's going to allow for the commander to come out on turn two. Let's pass, draw for turn, and we'll see how this new rat deck functions. We got playing a swamp for turn. It's a mono black, and that's it. No one drops, so we'll pass. Untap. Untap, upkeep, draw. Vivid Meadow is going to come in tapped, and that's all we can do there. We're going to pass. All right, untap, upkeep, draw for turn. Play Spectator Seating. Comes in tapped unless you have two or more opponents. I do. We will then tap to play Thought Vessel. You have no maximum hand size, and it adds a colorless. Last turn. Untap, draw, untap, upkeep, draw, sorry. Plains for turn, so we have both colors of our commander out, and we will go ahead and play the commander. Boom. Ryu Storm's Edge. 3/3 with first strike, which is pretty solid. Whenever a samurai or warrior you control attacks alone, untap it. If it's the first combat phase of the turn, there's an additional combat phase after this one. Obviously, the idea is to have a bunch of exalted and samurai warriors with buffs and go for commander damage by swinging him multiple times in a turn. We'll see if that actually does it for a change. Pass turn. Now, as always, once I pass these first couple turns, I do need to rope it in and not go too fast because we don't want any kind of misplays. Draw for turn, play Swamp for turn. Because I'm actually quite pleased with those first 3 episodes after the upgrade. I messed up a few little things, but caught them within a turn or so. They weren't anything that was gonna. I didn't miss anything, and then it would have totally changed the outcome of the game. So I need to keep that going so that these are a little better to watch. Tapping 2 for Rat Colony. It's a 2/1. Rat Colony gets +1/+0 for each other rat you control. A deck can have any number of cards named Rat Colony. So as you can imagine, there's a whole bunch of these in there, but there are a fair amount of other cards, lots of other rats and things that help pests and rats and all that kind of stuff. So it's not just like, 60 rat colonies and off you go. but we're going to go ahead and pass. Nobody has haste. Untap, upkeep, draw for turn. I will play a swamp, and then I will tap 2 to play the commander. Hélas Illicor, Sadistic Pilgrim. He's a 2/2 with Death Touch for 2. Right there, pretty darn solid. But also, whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. Whenever another creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life. This is supposed to be a black-white spirits token deck, so ideally you make a whole bunch of spirit tokens, so you gain a bunch of life, swing them out. If they die or you sacrifice them, then you're pinging your opponents for damage. Again, no haste, so we will go ahead and pass. All right. 4 or 5 colors is the only one that doesn't have a commander out. But let's see if we can fix that. We're going to play Dream Root Cascade. Comes in tapped unless you control 2 or more other lands, which I do. So we will go ahead and tap for green and white to play Jensen Carthalion, Druid Exile. It's a 2/2 for 2. Okay. Whenever you cast a multicolored spell, scry 1. If that spell was all colors, create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying and vigilance. You can also pay 5 mana and tap this to create 1 of each color, also known as Wooburg, that you can use. So it's a nice little way to like filter mana. So you might not have all 5 colors, but as long as you have 5 mana, you can filter it into him and get what you need. I have 2 mana left, but unfortunately I do not have a 2 mana drop. Now, I kept him as the commander because he's a 2-drop, and the ideal is that at least I'm going to be scrying a lot to help, with the card draw. And I mean, it won't increase card draw, of course, but it'll hopefully get me closer to cards I need. So if I'm drawing a bunch of lands, I can scry. Don't need a land, dump it, that kind of thing. But there's not really that many all 5 color spells in here, so I'm not going to get any real angels out of this one. But all right, so let's go ahead and pass. See what can happen. Untap, upkeep, draw. Can I play this? I cannot do it yet. So, wait here. We're going to play another mountain for turn. And then, yeah, why not? This Soul Ring's really helping this deck out fast. So we're going 2 red and 3 others to play Urbrask the Hidden already. Creatures you control have haste. Creatures your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped. All right, so here we are on turn 1. What am I saying? This is absolutely not turn 1. This is, I meant like first time I can attack with him. Turn 3, which is still really good. He's a 3/3 with first strike, so he can kill anybody on the board, and then he will get a second attack. So, and we've got pretty much, like rats could sacrifice the rat and not care maybe, but everyone else has commanders. So I think the smart move is to attack somebody that only has a commander in hopes that they'll let all the damage go through. So we will move to combat. I'm going to swing Ryu Storm's Edge at, I guess we'll go with Spirits. Now, this is the first combat of the turn. He is going to untap, and there will be another combat after this. So a 3/3 with first strike is coming at you, Spirits. What you gonna do, punk? Now, if it was me, that would be 6 commander damage if I let it go through. And it is only a 2-drop, so recasting it's not that big a deal, but I don't have 4 mana, and at best I'll only have 3 mana next turn, unless, I magically draw a Soul Ring. So I think you probably just let it go. I think he's going to let it go and go down to 34, so take 3 commander damage. Second combat. Now, on the second combat, I can actually swing both of these if I want to, but that would leave me open. And since he didn't block with his commander, he might come back with his commander, though it's only 2, not the same. But I think we'll leave the 4/4 as a blocker since no one has anything remotely close to that. So yeah, then it's the second combat, another 3 down to 36. We will denote that with this dice. You have 6 commander damage now. Okay, there's no end step triggers. Okay, going to pass turn. All right, now I gotta start paying attention, taking my time a bit. So untap, upkeep, draw. I'm going to play a swamp for turn. I will then, well, you might as well do it now, right? Tap all three for the final commander and the new one. Zaramox, the Rat King. It's a 3/3 for 3. Right there, I think that's pretty solid. Toxic 1, meaning whenever it deals damage, if it gets through, the person will get one poison counter. Doesn't matter how much damage goes through, you only get one poison counter. Then other rats you control have Toxic 1. So now this rat colony has Toxic 1. And this rat colony is getting a buff because it is another rat. So this is now a 3/1. When Carumonix enters the battlefield, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal any number of rat cards from among them and put them in your hand, put the rest on the bottom in any order. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards in my hand. So we're just going to do it. So we don't have to reveal these, but I'm going to reveal them just so you guys can see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and you look at the top 5. Ooh, dang, Massacre Worm, darn it. But I can put 2 rat colonies into my hand, and the rest go on the bottom in any order. Oops, whoa, easy there. I will probably have to discard down, I believe we said. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so I will. So we got some lands. I think we should keep the lands for a while. We're going to want all these rat colonies. I already had one in my hand. So that's 3 of those. Another pack rat. Thrilling Encore. Put any onto the battlefield under your control, all creatures. Yeah, it's a 5-drop. I think we'll get rid of that. That's kind of really good for a board wipe. After a board wipe, put onto the battlefield under your control all creature cards in all graveyards that were put there from the battlefield this turn. You know, in a mono black deck, you know, you drop a Damnation or something, followed up with a Thrilling Encore. I don't know if you're going to have enough mana for that, but because I think Damnation's relatively high as well. And this is 5-drop. So that's, you know, it's a great follow up, but that's a lot of mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. We don't have to. This technically won't happen till end of turn. I haven't done that yet. Um, Now, this, of course, does not have haste. He is ready to go, and he is a 3/1. So it can kill these guys, the creatures, but it will die because it is only a 1 toughness. So at this point, I don't think there's really any need, especially when you got a 4/4 sitting over there and some guy that can, you know, attack twice. I think we definitely want to just hold off. So then I move to my end step. I discard the Thrilling Encore, and we pass. Untap, upkeep, draw, play Plains for turn. Let's see. There's a lot of stuff I have that's decent, but I think we still need to try and catch up mana-wise, fortunately. So we'll play the Commander Sphere. Plus, that can give us, you know, card draw in a pinch if we get to the point where we, you know, don't need to worry about the mana. So, again, he's got Death Touch. Oh, stupid. See? I guess technically that's a really big misplay right there. I could have Death Touched and killed his commander as well. So that's got to be something we remember, because I'm not going to swing out. There's no one's open. It would be dumb. But now I could block with him, because now I would have enough to replay him at least. So it's a little safer of a move. So it was stupid of me to forget that, but I probably would have done roughly the same thing, I think. I think I would have let it go through anyway. So let's go ahead and pass. I don't believe anybody has any upkeep triggers. Definitely nothing that affects the whole battlefield. So we're going to untap, upkeep, draw. We will play a couple lands. Prairie Stream comes into the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or more basics. I do not, so that will be tapped. Let's see. Oh, I can't even play that. Darn it. I have a really good spell in my hand, but I literally don't have the colors for it. Now then, we have to try remember. Maybe I'll leave it the hand face up to try and remember. I have a Swords to Plowshares. So if, you know, Ryu or the Umbrask come in this direction, we can swords it. Otherwise, no. If I play this other card, I can't play Swords to Plowshares. So this is where you have to start considering, like, well, he's already started swinging. He's already got 6 commander damage there. The intelligent thing would be to go again. Why, as we've talked about in plenty of previous episodes, when you start getting solid commander damage, you want to stick with that person. You can't try and be nice and divvy it up. You have to just follow through because otherwise you'll never get commander damage on anybody. So do we take that risk? I think we'll try. We're going to tap for green, red, white. To play an enchantment, Cabaret Ascendancy. At the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card of your library. If it's a creature card or planeswalker, you may reveal it, put it in your hand. If you don't put it in your hand, you may put it on the bottom of the bottom of your library. So let's go ahead and show that we have an upkeep trigger. And this is a really nice little bit of mini card draw, or probably just card draw, really, because as long as it's a creature, it goes in your hand. If not, you can put it on the bottom, but if it's something you need, you just leave it there to actually draw it for the card draw of the turn. It is a multicolored spell, so I'm going to scry one, so I actually know what will be coming. Growth Spiral. Do I have lands in my hand? I do, right? But I have one. So this says put a land card. So, I mean, it won't be an extra land. But of course, I could use it to draw a card to see if I could, Yeah, because if I play it, I get the scry trigger that goes on top of the actual spell. So I could scry first, then draw. So I guess we'll try it. We'll give it well, wait, no, sorry, because before that even happens, the upkeep trigger will. So we'll put it on the bottom. Trying to see if we can get ourselves a creature to make the upkeep trigger worth it. We're not going to attack, so we'll pass. It's so funny. I don't know if Ryu got scared that I thought I was thinking about scrapping the deck. Now he's like, look, I can perform. I can do real well. So we'll untap, draw for turn. Play a Vivid Crag. Comes in with tapped with 2 charge counters on it. I can remove a charge counter to make a mana of any color. Otherwise, it just taps for it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see what kind of cards we want to play. Yeah, definitely this. So we'll tap Soul Ring and Plains with 1 floating, 1 colorless floating, to play Igajo Exemplar. It's a 2/1 samurai. Whenever a samurai warrior you control attacks alone, it gets a +1/+1 until end of turn. Oh, see? Man. Okay, well, it was only 1. But because of Umbrask, this came in tapped. So gotta really keep looking at the battlefield. I'm getting all like, I haven't done this for a while, so I'm like all excited. I'm like, let's play. And it's like, oh, I'm screwing it up. All right, so I have 1 floating, and then I'm going to pay a red to play Aki Ronin. It's a 1/3 Goblin Samurai. Whenever a samurai or warrior you control attacks alone, you may discard a card if you do draw a card. All right, let's see here. So we're probably going to be attacking these guys. Well, they actually do. They all have haste thanks to Umbrask. So we could swing with them on the second one. All right, so as I've said, we're going to try and do things right. We're going to go to combat. I'm going to swing at you. Now, let me just take a moment and see if there's anything in his hand. Well, I'm tapped out over here, and I don't have any 1-drops, so that's fine. So, moving to combat. Swinging Ryu at you. He is a 3/3 with first strike. So, in regards to what I was saying even earlier with the death touch, that wouldn't even matter because the first strike would kill it before the. No. Death touch is just say that's fine. Okay. I'm being all stupid. Sorry. So then we untap him and we have a second combat after this one. Okay. Now, spirits, what do you want to do? You've got a 3/3 commander damage coming at you. I really don't want to, but I think we have to block with him this time. Using the death touch, letting it kill Ryu, and then this go. They both get 2 more to play with the commander tax, and you don't get your. Well, we still get the second combat. If it's your first combat phase of the turn, there's an additional combat phase after this one. So there is technically another combat. So, okay, but again, still went too fast. Bing. I'm like, I'm half tempted to just scrap this and start over because I was making a bunch of little tiny mistakes, but nothing game breaking, and I'm realizing it as we go, so I guess it's okay for right now. When I attacked alone, he would have gotten +1/+1. It wasn't irrelevant. It was irrelevant for the damage and stuff, but because the death type still killed it. But I could have discarded and drawn a card. I don't know that that really is necessary at this point. Yeah, I don't think I would have done it, so it's fine there. So now we are on the second attack phase, and I think because of your insolence, I will swing all three at you. So 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 more damage. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have to count that out loud. It's got a nice little red uh, combo counter as it would. So none of them were commanders, of course, but a nice solid hit of 7. We are open now, though if someone else wants to start swinging in, but that would make a bit of an enemy. And it might be like, hey, keep your head down, let these two duke it out, let him kill that guy first, and then start swinging in. Or not. I mean, that can be one of those things. How do you, in your play groups, how do you guys deal with that? Do you just like, oh, someone's pulling ahead right there, someone's about to die, just let it happen, one less person you have to deal with, and then you gang up, or do you start taking advantage as soon as you can because, just to start spreading things out? Let's see. I don't believe there's any kind of end step triggers. Nobody over there has any end step triggers. Okay, we're done. We're going to pass. Untap, upkeep, raw for turn. All right, that's pretty solid. We're going to play a swamp, tap it for Soul Ring. Then, let's see. I think we're going to go for Baroque. 1, 2, 3, 4. To play 2 different rat colonies. All right. Now, they don't have, they do come in tapped because of Umbrask, or Brask, whatever. However, that does really buff up this guy. So he's getting +1/+0 for each other rat. So +3/+0. So making him a 5/1 with Toxic 1 thanks to our commander. Now, here's the thing with this particular deck. I did not build it as a massive proliferate deck. I really don't think I have hardly any proliferate cards in here. And you may be thinking, what the heck? Why not? I have a deck specifically designed for poison damage. My Atraxa deck that's meant to kill with poison, and it's got all the best proliferate cards I could have in it that I know about anyway, from the new set and everything. Mono black, there's not that many, I don't think. I will probably have to look into them a little bit. But the idea was because Rat Colony is just 2 mana, it should theoretically be easy to dump a whole bunch of them and just overrun like with rats. I mean it's kind of right there in the concept, rat swarm, so I can swing 7 rats that all have toxic 1. Maybe only 3 get through, but now you just took 3 poison counters on top of whatever you had. So it doesn't really need, theoretically, to proliferate. I'm sure it actually does, but we'll see. So I'm going to move to combat. I am going to swing. Well, you know what? I'm going to swing both of them at you. I think we're going to try and take advantage. Now we are left open, wide open, but 3, 4, 5. Sorry, 5 and 3, so 8 damage. 8 down to 32. And you are now getting 2. I guess this is going to be tricky. I'm going to have to figure out a better way to show this, but you get 2 poison counters. You have to try to remember. And you do technically have 3 commander damage too. So that's, yeah, I need something better to show poison counters. I have a poison counter token somewhere, but it's like, I don't want to derail the whole show trying to do that. So there we go. We have no end step triggers. Pass turn. Okay, we untap, upkeep, draw. We're going to play Plains for turn. And I was gonna say, like, I almost thought I missed something, but it's when another creature you control dies. So that wouldn't have counted when he died. Problem is, like, I don't have a 1 drop, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. I can play 2 creatures easy, or I can replay my commander, but I guess this is the way because the commander has Death Touch, whereas the other creatures do not. So that should theoretically be more of a deterrent because, if I play that again over there, and when I come swinging in here, now it'll be, because right now it's already 6 to play. I Death Touch it again, and that's going to be 8 mana just to play the commander. Do I really? And this guy just put poison counters on me. I think the direction might be switching, so that's probably your best bet. Whenever another creature enters, so I don't gain any life yet still, and then we're going to pass. Okay, untap, I have an upkeep trigger. I can look at the top card of the library. It is not a creature. Creatures you control get +1/+0, or +1/+1. That's pretty decent, but I only have 1 creature. And do I even have creatures in my hand? I do, but it's super expensive. So, I don't know. I'm gonna leave it there and draw it because I kind of wanna, I personally like static buffs to a field, so I think, I want to try and get more use out of that. All right, so we're going to play Adhikar Wastes. It taps for 1, or it can tap for white or blue, but in order to do that, it does 1 damage to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not enough to play that. And now that I mention it, I still don't have enough I don't have any black whatsoever. That is ridiculous. So I can't play my Phyrexian Arena. That sucks. All right, white, white, and 1 other to play Spear of Heliod. Creatures you control get +1/+1, and you can pay white, white, and 1, tap it to destroy target creature that dealt damage to you this turn. I still have 3 mana open, but no 3 mana costs. Unfortunate. That is a monocolor spell, so I do not draw. Okay, he's a 3/3 now. That's it. Come on, legendary. Let me down. Pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw for turn. Gonna play Plains for turn. Then 1, 2 for the tax, and then 1, 2 the reef, 1, 2, 3, 4 to replay my commander. Okay. Oh yes, but this is tapped. Haha. So because of Urbrask. So again, I keep forgetting that one. But at least I remember you know, within the same turn, basically. So that's commander damage. That's poison damage. Poison counters. That's nothing anymore. Now, here becomes the quandary. I can swing with everybody, and I can get the buffs here, but where do I go? Do I start swinging at the poison counter guy, who now is going to have 4 different creatures that can swing in? And if I go crazy, they will all get through. So I guess I shouldn't next turn, like on the second thing. Or do I continue focusing on him? He's not really a threat. Like, I mean, that is quite the point. Like, he's 1 creature. He's done nothing. That has. It really, I think you have to, right? Because at this point, continuing to go for him is just making you a jerk for no reason because you're just trying to get that person, screw them out of a game. You're not even going to let them have a chance to do something. Meanwhile, you're getting smacked down in your own way. So, yes, we're going to go to combat. I'm going to swing at you. First combat of the turn, he gets untapped, and second combat will be after this. So 3 damage to you. 1, 2, 3. And it's going to be 3 commander damage. And then second combat. So a 2/1. Whoop, sorry. Gets the buff, so it's actually 4 damage. And I could sacrifice or discard a card to draw a card. Nah, I think we're still good with these cards right now. Hopefully I can play them next turn. So each of these are going to be 5/1s, and that's a 3/3. I really can't kill. Well, I can kill them all, but they will kill all of my creatures as well. And I mean, why would I want to get rid of Urbrask? And I could probably block with this. So I think that's what it'll be. We will then swing on the second attack, the second combat, these 3. So we now get, okay, so nothing's getting the buff because it's not alone. So 3, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Another 3 commander damage for you, though. See, man, finally, Samurai is really showing some potential here. I leave one thing to block with. Yeah, I think that's about as where we're going to go. Pass. Untap. Upkeep. Draw for turn. Play a swamp. And then tapping 1, 2, and 3, 4, but splitting it with one black, one colorless, one black, one colorless to play. Another rat colony, going to come in tapped. And a pack rat that will come in tapped. Pack rats' power and toughness are each equal to the number of rats you control. I can pay 3, discard a card, put a token onto the battlefield that's a copy of pack rat. Oh, heck. I honestly did not even think I ever read that, so that's pretty sick. I could do that right now. And make another giant rat. Would come in tapped. But I think what the smarter move is to tap 1, 2, and play Blood Artist. Comes in tapped as well because of her brass. But whenever Blood Artist or another creature dies, target player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Now it's a 0-1. But if I'm going to be, people are going to be blocking all these rats and stuff because they're easy kills with only 1 toughness, he's going to help me still do damage. And let's remember, these all have Toxic 1. So I think now we're down to 27. It's Legendary is just sitting there going, what's going on? I don't even see a thing. I was looking at my watch. I don't see nothing. Because he's still at 40. Like no one's even bothered because he hasn't done anything. So all right, we're going to combat. We're swinging all of these at you. Now, these are 5-1s. No, they're much more than that, aren't they? For each other rat. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So now there's 6-1s. Okay, not that much more, but so there's 6-1s. No, 7-1s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can count. So, okay, so all rat colonies are 7-1s with Toxic 1, and this is a 3-3 with Toxic 1. It's commander damage, but at 32 life, I think it's smarter for him to block the rat colony and take 7 damage off the board. However, the creature died, so I'm going to gain a life, and you're going to lose a life. Because it says target player. Yes, loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So then the rest of them would get through. Combat happens simultaneously, so it wouldn't affect the numbers for their damage when it kills the rat because it all happens at the same time. So these are still technically 7, 14, 15, 16, 17. Whew, 17 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Wow. Solid hit. Then it dies, and now the rats are smaller. But again, we are wide open at 28 life. So if, freaking multicolored would get off its butt and do something, it might have a chance at swooping in and killing everybody. So there's no end step triggers, nothing like that. We haven't missed anything, I don't think, so we're going to pass. Untap, upkeep, draw. Snowfield, sinkhole, taps for black or white, but comes in tap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I actually forgot that this has 2 charge counters on it as well, similar to the one over there. So it can, remove a charge counter, tap it for any color. Basically, so what I say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. Well, we'll play this just because, it's a new card and I want to play it. Tapping a white and 1 other for Staff of the Storyteller. When Staff of the Storyteller enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. Kaboom. First freaking spirit token of the game. Whenever you create 1 or more creature tokens, put a story counter on Staff of the Storyteller. Pay 1 and tap it to remove a story counter from the staff. You draw a card. So it's a nice little bit of card draw, especially in a token deck. Then I have 3 mana left. I don't really know because it's like when it enters the battlefield, create one. So it's when it enters, it's not on the battlefield. So I don't think it gets the very first one. That would be kind of not broken, but I don't think that would be quite fair. So we're tapping 3 to play Twilight Drover. 1/1. Whenever a creature token leaves the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on Twilight Drover. Tap 3. Remove a +1/+1 counter. Create 2 1/1 spirit tokens. So it's like self-perpetuating. It's pretty cool. However, doink doink, I forgot they both do come in tapped because of stupid Urbrask. And I have no reason, no way to do that. He does, but so right now he's got no reason to bother with it. It's helping him out. Okay, we can go to combat, but we don't have any blockers, so it'd be stupid. Leave the death touch up right now to try and keep things off. Because now these two are kind of going at it. So he's like, you know what? Let me have some time to breathe. Last turn. All right, untap, upkeep trigger. It is not a creature, but well, it's a great card, but it's Hero's Podium, but it's useless right now because I have no freaking creatures. So put it on the bottom, draw a card, turn, still not a creature. I will pay 1, 2. I guess we'll put it there. 1, 2, and 3. It's like Worn Power Stone, which comes in tap. And then I have 3 mana that I cannot do anything with. Yay. Yeah, I'll just pass turn. He's got nothing. Very, very disheartening. It's only the first game of the match. So, untap. Upkeep. No upkeep triggers. Draw for turn. I will then. Yeah, okay, I will save 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll save this, which leaves me with 3 mana. So there we go. We're going to tap 1, 2, 3 to play Spectral Searchlight. Choose a player. That player adds 1 mana of any color they choose. Okay, so this is when I don't know that necessarily we can win, but well, we can't win. But I'm wondering if we can KO somebody. So it'd be 3, 4, 7, 10. Close. Not really. Actually, not at all. No. Okay. But we still need to try. So we're going to move to combat. You are completely open. So of course we're going to move to combat and swing Ryu at you. It is going to attacking alone, so it is a 4/4. It will then untap, and there will be a second combat after this. So 4 commander damage at you. 4, and then this goes up to 10 commander damage total. Second combat, I will then tap that for 3, and then that'd be what, 3, 7, 8, 9, and another 3. Right, because it's only the one thing. Pretty good, but not enough. And then there's so many. I mean, he can pretty much just kill me with the rats, period. So once again, we're at that set phase where it's like, look, I don't think you can survive. Like, oh, do you play it? How close to the cuff do you play it? I mean, what are you gonna do? He's outnumbering with rats, which is exactly what the deck is supposed to do, which is pretty awesome. I'm pleased it's doing so well. But I think even holding back 2, it's not going to matter. Going after somebody else isn't going to matter. So just go out, right? Just go out swinging. So second combat, we're swinging all 3. So it's 3 damage, 7, 8, 9. So 9 damage. Okay, and another 3 commander up to 13. Now, second main phase, I'm going to tap 4 mana to play this badass looking variant of Seize the Day. Untap target creature. After this main phase, there is an additional combat phase followed by an additional main phase. And there is a flashback that I could do it again, which I might have had enough to do, but well, I would have had enough mana to do, I suppose. But that still wouldn't have been enough commander damage, right? Because 4 would be 17. Oh crap, it would have, wouldn't it? Because it only untaps 1 creature, so I untap this, there's another combat, which means it's going to be attacking alone, which means it gets the buff. So it means that would be another 8 mana, 8 damage. which would put it at 21. Ugh. But you know what? As usual, I didn't read my cards all the way. I didn't bother looking at the flashback aspect. So I played Spectral Searchlight. That was stupid. I should not have done that. But there you go. So that cost me the game. That's upsetting. But there's a learning experience for you, dear viewers. Learn from my stupidity and mistakes. So here we are. Third combat of the day. We're going over here. 4 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4. Up to uh, 17 damage, 17 commander damage, but unfortunately we're going to die to rats as soon as we pass. Wow. Okay, well, it's good to know that's a thing that I could, work towards in another game. So that's, at least it's a learning experience for me as well. Um, yeah, pass turn. And here we go. Rats are doing quite well, considering that they're brand new. Not that it's like some sort of massively complex deck idea. Obviously, this is what they wanted when they made Rat Colony. You know, untap, upkeep, draw, play a Reliquary Tower for turn. Unfortunately, I didn't get another rat, but we'll do 1, 2, 3, and then 2 black for 5 total. To play Turgrid, God of Fright. It's a 4/5 with Menace. Whenever an opponent sacrifices a non-token permanent or discards a permanent card, you may put that card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. It does come in tapped because of Urbrask. And we are going to go to combat. So these, okay, this is equal to the number of rats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is a 5/5. This is each other rat. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are 6/1s. This is a 5/5, and that's a 3/3. All with Toxic 1. So he needs 14 damage to be KO'd. As I said, these are 6/1s. 6, 12, 13, 14, 15. And that gives us the chance to send these 2 bad boys somewhere else. Start getting some poison counters elsewhere. So that's what we're going to do. Send these, which is a total of 15 damage, correct? They're getting the buff of 4 for 4 other rats. 1, 2, 3, 4. No other rats. He's not a rat. Nope. So yes, these are 6/1s. That's 12 damage, 13, 14, 15 damage. You have 14 life. Boom. You are dead. You could have killed him if you'd have thought ahead. That was my fault. And then we've got um, 6 and 5 damage, so 11 damage going at. And to be fair, I should have declared this. I should have picked who I was sending it at. Just period. But I think we're going to send it at you because you are still at full health. And the good idea at this point is to get everybody down so that rats can swarm and just kill with 1 or 2 shots. So yes, you've got 11 damage coming at you. I guess take it, because really, it's not commander damage. You're going to get 2 poison counters, unfortunately. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's no point in getting rid of the commander now. That would just be stupid. So there we go. Strong, strong showing from rats. And, okay, another creature dies. Oh, another creature dies. Wow. I didn't really, I was just assuming that was your creatures. Whenever Blood Artist or another creature dies, target player loses 1 life, you gain a life. So, um, oh, well, I didn't attack creatures, so that doesn't actually matter. No creatures really die, so it's fine. But I gotta remember that. That's cool. Okay, over here, untap, upkeep, draw. Let's go, let's go, let's go. This is no longer relevant. No one else can hit me with that commander anymore, so it's fine. Draw for turn. Okay, that one seems like a decent one to try. 1, 2, 3, 4 to play the enchantment Field of Souls. Whenever a non-token creature is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, create a 1/1 spirit token with flying. Okay, I've got 2 mana left. I do have a 2 mana spell, actually. Look at that. So 1 and 2. Whoa, easy. For Night of Dawn's Light. Let's see. Creature enters the battlefield. I gain a life. Boom. First strike 2/2. Whenever, if you would gain life, you gain that much life +1 instead. And pay 2. Night of Dawn's Light gets +1/+1 until end of turn. So nice little rampy. You can buff it up pretty quick if you need to, and it's got first strike, so that helps. But it is over there. All right. Time to start swinging this guy. But the question is, at how much? There's a lot of rats. So I think we're just going to swing once flying spirit at you, take a damage, and yeah. Fortunately, no big moves just yet from spirits, so we'll pass. And definitely no big no big plays from freaking uh, legendaries over here. We got an upkeep trigger. Nope, not a creature. It's a land. Doesn't even have black in it, so we'll dump that to the bottom. Draw a card for turn, and it is still a land. Cool. Plaza of Heroes. Add 1 mana of any color. Spend this mana only to cast legendary spells, or you can tap it for colorless. All right, so the good news is we still have our Swords to Plowshares, but we don't have any really big creatures that are going to come at us. We can take care of the commander if it comes at us or something to get rid of all the toxic, but I'm not sure that's going to matter too much. So let's see. That's useless. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so we're going to do this at least. Tapping for 1, 2, 3, and then I need 3 white. So 3 white, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 white and 5 others to play. Avacyn, Angel of Hope. Flying, Vigilance, Indestructible. Their permanents you control have Indestructible, and she is an 8/8. That should help. And with Spear of Heliod, she is a 9/9. Even better. That's all I can really do, though. I mean, I could swing with my 3/3 commander. Gotta remember, that's any creature, but no creatures died. Yeah, I don't know. It would be good to get rid of that. But again, it's only 3 damage. Well, he's at 10 life, though. He might actually block. It probably would be smart to block. So I think we're going to put the pressure on. We're going to swing Jensen at you. It's a 3/3 commander, but you're at 10 life. Taking 3 would probably be stupid, so you're going to block with this. Whenever Blood Artist or another creature dies, target player loses life and you gain life. So you actually go up to 11, and obviously you would make this person lose 1. But that's a very benefit. Like if someone did a board wipe or something, that could really have buffed up his life. So that's a good move. All right, we got a really solid blocker, so I think we're good for right now. Pass turn. I don't know. I always, jinx myself by saying when a certain, you know, deck looks like it's going to win, but I think Rat Colony's probably or Rats are probably going to be pulling it out here. All right, so we untap, upkeep, draw. Okay, it's not really important. Tapping Reliquary Tower for Wayfarer's Bauble will tap Soul Ring. If you crack Wayfarer's Bauble, get a basic land card, put in the battlefield tapped. Putting a basic swamp on the battlefield tapped just because I want to shuffle and hopefully get rid of a land so I can maybe get some more freaking rats. Oops, almost shuffled on the table and shook the camera. Hopefully it hasn't been shaking too much. Ah, thank goodness. Sorry. All right, whatever. It looks ugly, but we'll just leave it at that. All right. So unfortunately, no real changes. We can swing Turgid, 4/5 with Menace, pretty good. So we could definitely swing Turgid over there because even Avacyn can't block it, and that would be a nice solid 4 damage hit. Okay, none of the numbers have changed, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 total rats. So this is a 5/5, and these are 6 ones, and this is a 3/3. Hmm. Okay. So what I think we should do is go for numbers, right? That's what it's got to be. So we're gonna swing these 4 rats at you, these 2 creatures at you. That does leave us, well, it leaves us wide open and we're at 11. That's a 9/9 flyer. However, it's a flyer, so we can't stop it anyway. But we would be passing into you, and you could swing back. So, okay, don't do that quite thing. 2, 1, and 2. We can definitely kill anything he swings this way, but one thing would theoretically get through the flyer. So we would take 3 damage, and then the not. Yeah, I don't think there's any way Rats is going to win now. I see it. The only thing we can do is send 1 less rat at him to allow for blockers, but we're still going to get crunched for 9, um, 9 damage in the air. Plus, if he swings that one, that's 10 in the air. That would literally leave us at 1 life. I don't know that we would be able to do too much, but let's try it, right? Let's try and play it safe. Let's see if we can play smart magic or whatever, right? So actually, I guess that would be this because the rat colonies are bigger. However, we will lose a rat colony to Avacyn. So that's not entirely cool either. But such is life. Okay, so that's what we're doing. We're swinging those 3 at you. You're going to block 1 with Avacyn, of course, destroy it. You will take 12 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And gain 2 more poison counters. Let's see. Whenever opponent sacrifices, no. Withstand the crackback, except for the 2 flyers, but that shouldn't kill us unless he gets a buff of some sort. Which I know had 1, but I put it to the bottom. So all right, so we're passing turn, and then we're going over here. We're up, untap, upkeep, no upkeep triggers, no tokens, nope. Okay, so then I draw for turn, play a command tower. I guess we will then tap a black and a white to play Cruel Celebrant. I played a creature, so I gain a life. Whenever another creature or planeswalker you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life, and you gain 1 life. Whenever a creature token leaves the battlefield, nope. If you would gain life, you gain that much +1, so I gain an extra life there. Awesome. Whenever a non-token creature is put in your graveyard, nope. Whenever you create 1 or more creature tokens, nope. All right, so then black, white, and 1 other to play Indulging Patrician. All right, creature enter the battlefield under my control. I gain 1 life. It gets buffed, so I gain 2. It's a flying 1/4 with lifelink at the beginning of your end step. If you gain 3 or more life, each opponent loses 3 life. Oh, that's going to be a KO for rats in the long run because I just gained 4 life, so that's going to trigger. I don't believe anything else does because I didn't make any freaking tokens in my token spirit deck other than 1. But we do have more blockers now, and one of them is flying in case Avacyn wants to come this way for some reason. So I think it is time to go the swinging. But unfortunately, they're all so little. They're not going to do much. So I know for a fact that I'm going to do 3 damage to each opponent uh, at my end step. So that's going to put them down to 8. Avacyn can absolutely KO them now. If I start making myself a threat, maybe Avacyn's not going to come at me or come at them. Maybe it'll come at me. In the hopes that maybe, because now I'm the biggest, right? 32, 16, 11. Multicolor might be hoping to leave Rats alone so that Rats comes over here and takes me out. But of course, if Rats was really smart, it would probably take out Avacyn. I don't know. This is a really interesting power struggle at this point because no one is really poised to just win it all because, Avacyn is a 9/9 indestructible. That's fantastic. And a flyer. But she doesn't have trample. So I can block her with at least 2 things to buy time. and the rats and the poison counters could overwhelm her. If I got rats, unfortunately, I'm not even getting any. I don't have any card draw right now, which is probably the biggest, problem with this deck, and of course all of my decks. But I've been working on that, so we'll see. Okay, we're taking too long. We're probably already like at an hour. Darn it! I was hoping this would go quicker because it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 6 damage I can do. That's paltry. That's nothing. Yeah, I guess we gotta. I think we're gonna go for Avison for the multicolor, right? Because we're involuntarily gonna do damage to them. So who cares? So 6 damage coming at you. Avison can block somebody. It is indestructible, so it could block and probably should block that because that would shut off the life gain. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna blow up that. So now this costs 6 total to recast. However, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you'll still take 4 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see. The tokens don't have lifelink. First strike. Yeah, no lifelink in anything. Let's see. But whenever a non-token creature is put into your graveyard from the battlefield. No, I didn't put him in there. When a creature token leaves the battlefield. Nope. And nope. Okay. Bummer. All right. So that's all we can do there. These guys are now here for blocking at least. Another creature you control dies. Okay, well this one does trigger. So each opponent loses a life and I gain a life. So gain 1, lose 1, lose 1. Right? And now move to my end step. I definitely gained more than 3 life, so that means each opponent is going to lose 3 life. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Ooh. Spirits isn't doing what Spirits is supposed to do, but it's still doing pretty well. Very odd. We will then pass turn. Okay, untap, upkeep, upkeep trigger. Is it a creature? No. Oh my god. Do I not have creatures in this deck somehow? Drop a turn. Nope, still not a creature. Wow, dude, you're really screwing up major. That's upsetting. And I still do not have any lands that have black in them. It's insane. I will go ahead and tap Worn Power Stone for Arcane Signet at least. I almost forgot. I still have Swords to Plowshares. I mean, that really wasn't like blowing up any of those creatures wouldn't have made much of a difference for him. Taking out one of the rats probably would have, I guess. It would have at least saved me like 6 life, but that's my biggest problem. Like I'm getting a little better with remembering the board state, but remembering what's in everybody's hands is just probably something that's not going to happen. So we're gonna have to just suffer with that. Yeah, I really don't have nothing. I can't even sacrifice anything to draw a card. I want to use Swords to Plowshares, of course. Okay, so these 2 cards are useless to me. One of them is Phyrexian Arena. I don't have the black to play it, and at this point in the game, drawing extra cards is too late. I also have Eerie Ultimatum, which, again, 3 black, so I definitely couldn't play that anyway, and I have no graveyard. So, irrelevant. The only thing I can really do is Swords to Plowshares. And I haven't even played a multicolor spell in a while, because it's a colorless, mono white. It's pretty funny. Mono white. But anyway, what should I... Instant speed. So let's leave this up to try to remember I have the Swords to Plowshares. Because I don't think doing it right now is a good idea. Okay, so she has vigilance, so I can swing her and not worry about leaving myself open. I think at this point, do I just take them out of the running? Because those rats are, you know, at best I'll only draw 1 rat and it won't have haste. So, but I'm at 9 life. This could still kill me if it just swung everything at me. And again, here we are at the situation where it's like, yo, rats, do you want to team up and take this guy out, and then we'll worry about each other because then there'll be a fair fight, 6 versus 9, whoever gets there. The other person might be like, okay, I won't attack you. I'll swing everything at this dude with all my rats, and then you would swing over, and then that would be solid amount of damage. You might actually get him down. I can't, barter with myself. So I'm tempted to just take out rats, but then I just die. I just flat out die to them, no matter what I do. But then again, that's the point. If I swing over there, I die no matter what I do. So I guess that's where you go, right? I'm going to move to combat. I'm going to swing Avacyn at you. You got a 1/4, so you could totally block my 3/3 Jensen and not even have to sacrifice a creature, which sucks. So, yep, swing Avacyn at you for 9 damage in the air. Boom, you are dead. Nice opening showing, rats, but not quite there. I have no kind of end steps. Nothing I can really do. Pass turn and pretty much lose. So we come back around here, we untap, we upkeep, draw for turn. Yeah, that's cool, but that's I mean, let's see. 1, 2, and then what do we say 4 to recast the commander one more time. Whenever another creature, although I don't even get the life gain off of him coming into the battlefield, so with that, but it doesn't matter because I still have enough damage, I think, right? The biggest things I have, well, so she blocks these two. 1, 2, 3. Oh, yeah, that's not certainly not 9. All right, let's not do that. Let's instead do the thing I drew. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to play. Ethereal Absolution. Creatures you control get +1/+1. Creatures your opponents control get -1/-1. So that essentially negates your Spear of Heliod. I can pay 4, exile target card from an opponent's graveyard. If it was a creature, I make a token Spirit with Flying, blah, blah. So now my creatures are bigger, so that it, means swing out. So my biggest creature is definitely this, which is a 3/3 now, and then everything else is basically just 2. So it doesn't really matter who blocks what. We'll just block these two. Well, it does matter, because let's see what the triggering effects are, right? This is a flying lifelink. Whenever this or another creature dies, an opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Well, killing it's still going to count itself, so it's not a huge deal. Whenever a creature token leaves the battlefield, put a plus. Yeah, so this one actually I would leave alone. This one is first strike. If you would gain life, you gain that much +1. So we're going to block, I think, these two, but I'm not sure it really matters because all the triggers will still happen. So what that means is we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 getting through, right? So right off the bat, let's take that down to 3. I think that's probably game because then whenever this or another creature dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So we would, 2 creatures die, so we would gain 2 life and you would lose 2 life. And I forgot that if you gain life, you gain that. Well, that I'm not entirely sure. I know Cruel Celebrant would see both of them leaving the battlefield, so it would count that for that. But I don't know if this would see the life gain. So I'm not going to do that because I'm not confident that would see the life gain off that. Probably would, but I don't know. But this did have lifelink, so that's going to gain me another life. And then, yeah. So what did we do? We gained 2 things died. So I gained 2 life, and then I gained a life there at 3 life. Guess what? Moved to my end step. Boom, boom, boom. You lost 3 life because I gained 3 or more life. Pow! There you go, guys. A weird, very weird, not the way it's supposed to work, come from behind win for Spirits. I guess Spirits was like, I don't want to get pulled apart either. You know. But basically, these 2 decks performed really well. I'm very pleased with how they went off this time. That was a huge disappointment, especially considering I just sacrificed 3 decks to make that deck and it still didn't synergize or get going. And then Spirits is just wonky, weird, still not doing any kind of tokens. I have the hardest problem making token decks, guys. They always do something good, but they never make tokens. Like, I took apart my Mince and Boo deck because the same thing. It was supposed to be an elf goblin deck that just had a commander that made a token because it kind of fit and made sense. I never made the tokens. I just made Mince. I just made Boo and threw that little hamster around. So whatever. I guess I am first to never be able to make a token deck. I hope you guys had fun watching. I hope you saw some cards you want to use for your decks. Leave me some comments. Let me know. And I will see you next time.